Good evening and welcome back to UND TV News. I'm Ashley Ellison.
And I'm Kennedy Phelps.
Last night, the Seahawks and the Patriots faced off at Levi Stadium in Santa Clara, California. We're going to throw it over to the sports wall. Here to tell us more is anchor Nate Long.
Thanks, guys. Well, it is official. The Seattle Seahawks are the champions of Super Bowl 60, defeating the New England Patriots 29-13 last night at Levi Stadium in Santa Clara, California. It marked the second Super Bowl title in Seahawks history and a statement win over the Patriots, who were seeking a record 7th championship. Seattle's defense dominated the night, pressuring Patriots quarterback Drake May all game and forcing multiple turnovers that swung momentum in the Seahawks' favor. Quarterback Sam Darnold threw a touchdown to A.J. Barner, IU alum, and running back Kenneth Walker III rushed for 135 yards and was named Super Bowl MVP. The first running back to earn the honor since 1998, which was Terrell Davis. Kicker Jason Myers set a Super Bowl record as well, with 5 field goals in the victory. Meanwhile, the Patriots struggled to get their offense going until very late in the contest. Their bid to add another Lombardi trophy to the franchise legacy was unsuccessful. Super Bowl was one that many say may be not as fun as you looked at the first 3 quarters, just 12 points, 4 field goals scored. But if you are a true football fan, love defense, then it was a game that you definitely would not want to miss. We'll swing it back over to the desk for some more news here on your Monday night.
Thank you, Nate. We'll check in with you later for some updates closer to home. Moving on to breaking news, the search continues tonight for the missing mother of Today's Show co-anchor Savannah Guthrie. Authorities say they are investigating a new message tied to Nancy Guthrie's disappearance and are asking anyone with information to contact the FBI. Investigators in Arizona are also looking into vehicle or vehicles that may be connected, though officials say the lead is still being reviewed. The FBI has announced a $50,000 reward for information leading to Nancy Guthrie's recovery or the arrest and conviction of anyone involved. Savannah Guthrie's family has pleaded publicly for safe contact, saying they're waiting to hear directly from whoever may have taken her. Authorities say they're still determining the legitimacy of possible ransom messages sent to the media. One arrest has already been made in what the FBI calls an imposter ransom demand. Investigators believe the 84-year-old was taken from her home against her will. They say she has limited mobility and urgently needs medication. The Sheriff's Department and the FBI continue to urge anyone with tips to call 1-800-CALL-FBI.
Lindsey Vonn's remarkable Olympic comeback ended in heartbreak yesterday after a devastating crash in the women's downhill at the Milan Cortina Games. Just 13 seconds into her run, Vonn lost control and went down hard near the top of the course, breaking her left leg. She was skiing in a brace only 9 days after rupturing the ACL in that same knee. Vonn was strapped to a stretcher and airlifted off the mountain. Italian officials later confirmed she was required surgery to stabilize the injury. Vonn was attempting to become the oldest alpine skier ever to win an Olympic medal, returning to competition 5 years after retirement and defying doubts about her health. Her sister said Vonn, quote, put her whole heart into the comeback. Vonn had successfully completed 2 training runs in the days leading up to the race.
An 18-month-old girl hospitalized with life-threatening respiratory failure was returned to immigration detention and denied prescribed medication, according to a federal lawsuit. The toddler, identified as Amalia, became critically ill while held with her parents at a processing center in South Texas. She was rushed to a San Antonio Children's Hospital, where doctors treated her for pneumonia, COVID-19, RSV, and severe respiratory distress. After 10 days in intensive care, immigration officials sent her back to the detention despite medical warnings. The lawsuit says officials then failed to provide her daily medication. Amalia was released only after lawyers filed an emergency habeas petition.
Japan's Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi has won a decisive victory in the country's general election. Her Liberal Democratic Party secured 316 of 465 seats in parliament, a supermajority that gives her broad control of the lower house. Takaichi says the win is a mandate for proactive economic policy, including new investments. But her promise to suspend the 8% sales tax on food has raised concerns among investors, as Japan already carries the heaviest debt burden among advanced economies. Despite record snowfall and dangerous winter conditions, voters turned out across the country. Political analysts say the supermajority could allow Takaichi to push through major legislation, including higher defense spending, a move closely watched by China. The election result was welcomed by Japan's business leaders and praised by the United States. President Donald Trump offered his full endorsement and announced Takeichi will visit the White House in March. With a strong mandate at home and backing abroad, Takeichi now has significant power to reshape Japan's economic and security policy.
Britain's Prime Minister is facing political fallout tonight after his chief of staff resigned over an appointment tied to the Jeffrey Epstein scandal. Morgan McSweeney, a top aide to Prime Minister Keir Starmer, stepped down yesterday after admitting he advised Starmer to appoint Peter Mandelson as Britain's ambassador to the United States. Mandelson resigned earlier after newly released U.S. Justice Department emails showed a closer relationship with convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein than previously known. These messages indicated that Mandelson shared confidential government information. McSweeney said the decision was wrong and took full responsibility. Starmer fired Mandelson from the ambassador post last fall and has since referred to him to police for possible criminal investigation. British authorities say they're reviewing the case and searched 2 Mandelson properties over the weekend. Starmer has apologized to Epstein's victims, but insists he will remain in office as more internal government documents are expected to release in the coming days. 2 deputy chiefs of staff will now serve as co-acting chiefs.
President Trump is facing bipartisan backlash after posting and later deleting a video widely condemned as racist, depicting former President Barack Obama and former First Lady Michelle Obama as apes. The president says he has nothing to apologize for. The video clip appeared late Thursday night on President Trump's Truth Social account, embedded in a longer post promoting conspiracy theories about the 2020 election. Set to "The Lion Sleeps Tonight," the clip portrayed the Obamas as apes, a depiction long recognized as a racist trope. After public outrage erupted, the account deleted the post roughly 12 hours later. But speaking to reporters aboard Air Force One on Friday, Trump denied wrongdoing. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt initially brushed off the backlash, calling the video an internet meme and urging reporters to stop the fake outrage. But criticism soon emerged from within the president's own party. GOP lawmakers labeled the imagery offensive, heartbreaking, and unacceptable. The video was originally shared by an anonymous social media user and later reposted by the president. It is part of a growing pattern of AI-generated memes and manipulated content frequently shared by Trump and his online supporters.
3 Doors Down lead singer and co-founder Brad Arnold has died at the age of 47. The band announced Saturday that Arnold passed away peacefully in his sleep after a courageous battle with cancer, surrounded by his wife and family. Arnold revealed in May that he had stage 4 kidney cancer, which had spread to his lungs. He helped form 3 Doors Down in Mississippi in 1996 and rose to fame in the early 2000s with hits like Kryptonite, Here Without You, and It's Not My Time. Tributes from fellow musicians poured in over the weekend, remembering Arnold for his talent, faith, and kindness.
Thank you, Kennedy. Let's turn to Jace over at the weather desk to get an update on conditions tonight. Jace, please give me good news. How are we looking this evening?
Well, it's a lot better than last week, Ashley. You look into the rest of the evening, 34 degrees right now outside, kind of clear. Some clouds in the areas. We had the rest of the night, though. You notice the low being around 31 at 9 p.m. That was our high about last week. That is because some good news for you. We're going to get above freezing by about 20 degrees heading into the rest of this week. We'll get into that future forecast here in a minute. Looking at the weather map right now, you can see this area kind of a dry air right over Indiana. So we're not having any snow, any rain for the next few days or so until some of this moves its way towards the east. But like I said, we'll get into that future forecast here in a few minutes' time. First, some more local news.
Are you riding? Say you never ever leave from beside me. Duh.
We'll leave it to our actual athletes. Watch UND-TV's live sports broadcast on GLV-CSN and YouTube.
Are you feeling alone in your faith? UND Catholic gives you an opportunity to get involved in a religious community on campus, providing sacramental needs and fellowship for prospective students and giving you a sense of belonging.
We just want you guys to know that God loves you, He delights in you, and He's in awe of you, and we would love to meet you. So you should come on out.
UND Catholic, a community for you.
For children who may have high-functioning autism, may have ADHD, processing challenges, working memory issues, sensory integration issues, those types of challenges. It's a place where human beings are valued, children are respected. It's a progressive school that takes a hands-on approach to education.
Following the death of Fishers teenager Haley Busby, her family and Indiana lawmakers are pushing for new protections aimed at preventing online manipulation and helping find missing children faster. Human remains found in Wayne National Forest in southern Ohio have been confirmed as those of 17-year-old Haley Busby, who disappeared from Fishers, Indiana in early January. Authorities say Busby left her home the night of January 5th after meeting a man through an online gaming platform. Investigators later traced a vehicle in the area to 39-year-old Tyler Thomas of Columbus, Ohio. According to his attorney, Thomas led FBI agents to Busby's body on February 1st. He is currently jailed on a $1.5 million bond, facing charges including pandering sexually oriented material involving a minor and tampering with evidence. Prosecutors say additional charges could follow as the investigation continues. As the criminal case unfolds, Busby's family is turning grief into action. They are petitioning Indiana lawmakers to pass Haley's Law, which would require schools to provide more education on online grooming, digital manipulation, coercion tactics, and modern predators. More than 42,000 people have already signed a petition supporting the proposal, which also calls for the creation of a pink alert. Haley's family will celebrate her life on February 12th at I-Town Church in Fishers. Attendees are encouraged to wear her favorite color, pink. Lawmakers say decisions on Haley's Law are ongoing as investigators continue working towards justice in her case.
The IMPD is conducting an internal review after a video surfaced showing an officer threatening a 17-year-old driver during a traffic stop at a student protest. The incident happened on February 6 near Warren Central High School on the east side, where 17-year-old Travion Taylor was driving away from an anti-ICE protest. His mother says he has graduated early and had to join friends at the demonstration. Video captured from his phone shows the officer ordering him out of the car, then saying, "I will kill you. Do you understand me?" IMPD says officers were monitoring the protest after receiving information that students might have guns. They stopped Taylor's car after seeing a juvenile enter with a firearm and cited a traffic violation for failing to signal. Police confirmed one of the teens in the vehicle had a gun and was taken into custody. The others, including Taylor, were not charged. The department said the officers handling the situation does not reflect IMPD standards and an internal review is underway. Travion's mother says she is filing a complaint and wants the body camera video released.
Officials with Johnson Memorial Health have announced on Friday that the healthcare facility will begin phasing out its OBGYN care center on their Franklin campus. According to Johnson Memorial Health, these cuts are due to federal and state insurance rates and decreasing and rising service costs. Current expectant parents and patients will be informed of their long-term plans at their next appointment. CEO and President David Dunkel says it will take several months before the maternity center is completely phased out. Dunkel says that it has been a difficult decision and that the decision was influenced largely by Medicaid reimbursement rates, which haven't seen significant increases in the past 30 years. Hospital officials believe this decision will lead to a more stable organization and a long-term sustainability.
A well-known Indianapolis Democrat is entering the race for Congress. Destiny Wells, the former Democratic nominee for Indiana Attorney General, has filed to run in the Democratic primary for Indiana's 7th District seat in the U.S. House of Representatives. She's an attorney, combat veteran, and former Indiana Democratic Party official. Wells previously ran for Attorney General in 2024 and for Secretary of State in 2022. She will face incumbent Congressman Andre Carson in the Democratic primary, along with other candidates who have also filed on the Republican side. Patrick McCauley and Felipe Rios have entered the race. The contest is expected to draw strong interest in one of Indiana's most prominent congressional districts.
Nearly 2 months ago, a Broad Ripple teen with autism disappeared. His mother is turning tragedy into purpose. 16-year-old Robert R.J. Williams vanished in mid-December. A statewide silver alert was issued and he was later recovered from the White River. His mother, Katania Williams, says R.J. believed he would walk on the ice and fell through. A small memorial now sits near the dock where R.J. entered the river. Determined to honor her son's memory, Williams and R.J.'s teachers have created the Robert Earl Williams Jr. Scholarship Fund to support students with autism or mild intellectual disabilities. The organization was officially approved this past week. The scholarship will help cover enrichment, education, and therapy programs. Applications are expected to open by summer. Williams says helping other children like RJ is the best way to keep his legacy alive.
As the Haley Busby case continues to affect Fishers and surrounding communities, families of missing loved ones are coming together for support and action. The group called The Missing Struggle was founded by Katrina Overstreet after her sister, Sia Taylor, disappeared in 2020. Her car was later found abandoned, still running, and she has never been located. Overstreet hosted the group's annual Missversary event, which brought families together from across the country who are still searching for answers. The event connected families with law enforcement, search teams, and forensic experts, while also serving as a call for better education and prevention. Overstreet is now pushing for Sia's Law, which would require immediate police action when suspicious vehicles are found abandoned. Police say coming together helps keep their loved ones' stories alive and keeps pressure on the system to do more.
Indiana Republican leaders are working on a partnership with Turning Point USA to establish chapters in schools across America and punish those who block the creation. The organization already has partnerships in states including Texas, Florida, and Tennessee. In Indiana, there are currently 38 collegiate and 64 high school chapters. Under the proposed plan, schools wouldn't be required to start chapters, but officials say they could face consequences if they block students from forming them. Erica Kirk, Charlie Kirk's widow and the organization's leader, says Indiana will soon join the initiative to protect and support conservative students, teachers, and administrators. Indiana School Board Association leaders say they haven't seen any public schools deny chapter creation. Schools are already required by federal law to treat student clubs equally, regardless of viewpoint. Turning Point USA says the effort aims to give students confidence and to advocate for conservative ideas without fear of retaliation.
Alrighty, let's throw it over to Jace at the weather desk now to see how the weather is going to be treating us for the rest of the week.
Absolutely, Jace. What can you tell us?
Well, Kennedy, what I can tell you, looking back at the weather map right now, I mentioned some possible snow, rain coming into the area this Saturday, Sunday. It'll be from this area right here over Nevada, California. It'll make its way up the jet stream eventually and work its way into central Indiana. But looking through the rest of this week before the weekend, tomorrow, high of 53. Yes, 53 degrees. Some snow finally going to melt away. This snow has been sticking around for the last few weeks, but 53 degrees the high tomorrow. That will go down a little bit as a bit of a cold front makes its way through central Indiana over the next few days. We'll get, though, some low 40-degree weather throughout the rest of the week. Should be partly cloudy, sunny for most of these 4 days listed here on the slide, but then some rain, some snow possible once again on Saturday and Sunday. But when we come back, Nate Long with sports updates.
The round table where no topic is off limits. NFL, NBA, MLB, college, you name it, we got it. We don't report on sports, we debate them. From legacy to greatness. From touchdowns to blocks at the rim. You decide who's right. Tune in to the debate at Uni TV on YouTube every Tuesday at 6 p.m. or on Spotify at First Stop Sports.
News. How much time we got? Okay. Coffee. I love coffee.
We're on the air.
All right. Good evening, I'm Chris Hammer, here to report the news for you. For your campus, local, and national headlines, UND TV News has got you covered. Wednesdays at 6.
Yeah. Okay, guys, seriously, basketball and hockey have got to be the best sports around. Speed, skill, drama, 7-game series, they have got it all.
Nah, baseball is the best sport, and that's just a fact, Jace.
You guys are both wrong. It's 100% football. You guys need to get on the football train.
Everyone stop. Why fight now when you can watch us debate on Grand Slam Sports on YouTube on Fridays at 6 p.m. or on Xfinity Channel 1096.
Welcome back to the Sports Wall. You heard about the Super Bowl, but now let's make it a little more local here in Indianapolis. We'll start first with the women's basketball team and the men's basketball team. Both teams were on the road taking on UMSL, that's University of Missouri St. Louis, and then also Maryville. Both teams did and happened fall to UMSL. The girls' team did fall 51-64, and then the men's team 58-62. In those games, leading the way for the women's team was Autumn Rucker with 11 points. And on the other side of things, for the men's side, leading the way was Camarlo Harris with 15, and then Sean Arnold chipped in 13 as well. And then, like I mentioned, they were on the road again on Saturday, taking on Maryville. That one was a little bit closer for the boys, a big win actually, as they would win 98-67, leading the way for them. Tyler Parrish, 30 points, and then Kelvin Amoko, 20 and 9, almost a big double-double for him in the win. They move on to 12 and 11 on the year, and they are sitting pretty going into the last couple of games in GLVC play. They're ranked 6th at the moment in the points. Top 8 make it to the conference tournament. Moving in at the girls as they lost to Maryville 37-67, and Autumn Rucker led the way again for them with 17 points. They fall to 5-18 on the year. As we move now to some more sports right here at the University of Indianapolis, we go to lacrosse. Lacrosse played their first game of the year last Friday against Northwood, and they get the big win, 16-5. It was the score. Once again, that's 16-5. And that was against Northwood. Matt Pereira led the way with 4 goals, and they are looking on to take on Lake Erie on Saturday coming up here. Moving now to some baseball here at UIndy. They had a tough series against, I believe it was Mississippi State, ranked number 21 in the nation. They won 1, they lost 3 in the 4-game series, but they'll be also back in action against Minnesota State in Missouri, which is a little bit odd if you think of that, but they'll be taking on Minnesota State on Friday. And then to wrap up our talk about UIndy sports, we look at the UIndy softball team, and well, they are off to a hot start. 4-0 at the Music City Invitational, That means 2 wins over Tiffin, another win over Ashland, and then they wrap things up with another win to go to 4-0 on the year. They got 2 hit games, doubleheader, playing for Lake Erie on Friday. But that wraps up all the UIndy sports, and well, it's a lot of stuff to happen, a lot of wins for the Greyhounds. And we talk about wins, we talk about cold weather, and it's time for the U.S. to win something as well. In the Winter Olympics, Ashley has more about that.
Thank you, Nate, for those updates for all of the UIndy teams. Continuing into sports, the 2026 Milano Cortina Olympics kicked off this weekend. The opening ceremony on Friday featured international athletes on the Milano San Sirio Olympic Stadium, as well as Olympic venues in Livigno, Predazzo, and Cortina. The 232 athletes are representing the USA this year, making it the largest group to compete for the USA Winter Olympics. World champion Breezy Johnson took the first U.S. medal in women's downhill skiing. Ilya Melinised led USA to gold in the figure skating team event. Italy clinched 6 medals yesterday to be put in the lead with 9 total. Norway follows with 6 and Japan with 4. The U.S. is in 6th place in the medal count with 2 total, both gold.
Last night, global superstar Bad Bunny took over the halftime stage with a performance that was bold, loud, and unmistakably him. The Puerto Rican artist delivered a high-energy set packed with high-energy rhythms, sharp choreography, and striking visuals that paid tribute to his roots. The show leaned heavily into Latin culture, with Spanish lyrics front and center on one of the biggest stages in the world. Fans lit up social media praising the performance for its authenticity and representation, calling it a major cultural moment. The set blended club energy with powerful imagery, providing once again why Bad Bunny continues dominating music worldwide. Whether you loved it or debated it, one thing's clear: Bad Bunny made halftime impossible to ignore.
Last week, the UIndy Music Industry Club hosted UIndy's very first Battle of the Bands. UIndy TV's Katie Dodson was at the event, and here is more to tell us.
This past Tuesday night, musicians went head-to-head in Battle of the Bands. During the event, there were 4 groups and also 2 solo bands who performed. There were even people that helped plan the event who performed as well. Battle of the Bands was sponsored and ran by students in the music industry program as well as the Music Industry Club. The groups consisted of all kinds of music, from post-emo to country to more contemporary styles. One performer also showed off their own original music. The bands that performed were a music therapy group called Amy and the Foleys, after one of their professors, What the Funk, a jazz group, Union Ace, the country rock band, and Malaya, the metal group. Solo performers were Alex Poisel and Key Elio. Spirits were extremely high in UIndy Hall A. This was the first Battle of the Bands here on campus before, but that certainly did not affect the atmosphere or turnout. There were over 100 people in attendance and lots of great crowd reception. One of the organizers of the evening said the crowd loves it. When the bands were interviewed, one said, "We feel the energy of the crowd and we were happy to rock the house." Overall, the bands were excited to perform and get their music out.
All right, drum roll, everybody! Our winner is Union
Union Ace was the winner, but Amy and the Foleys was crowd favorite. To get more information on this event, check out the newest episode of Good Morning Greyhounds. This has been Katie Dodson for UNDTV News.
Thank you, Katie. How cool to see all of the cool music and events happening around campus. And speaking of cool music, mostly around the world, really, Kennedy, what did you think of Bad Bunny's halftime performance last night?
Personally, I really enjoyed it, especially when Gaga made an appearance on the Super Bowl stage. I was definitely not expecting that. Lady Gaga is my queen, and I definitely enjoyed it every bit.
And my girl Alex Earl was there.
She was there, so was Cardi B.
Alongside Cardi B. I think it was great.
I think it was really
Obviously,
good.
there was 2 sides to the halftime,
100%.
but no matter how you look at it, it was great.
It was absolutely beautiful.
It was fantastic. Thank you for joining us tonight on UNDTV News.
Be sure to check out all of our productions on YouTube.
And stay up to date on all things sports, news, and entertainment on social media at UNDTV.
As always, have a good night.
And be safe, Indy. We'll see you next week.